Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Kaitlan Collins. You know, she was presented with a real opportunity. It's been obvious where the consumers have been headed. CNN's been tanking through the floor, the ratings are in the absolute gutter, and this caused a sell-off of the network, new leadership that came in, which was supposed to bring all kinds of new reforms. They got rid of little Bri Stelter, little Chrissy Cuomo, and Don Lemonhead, and the rest of these guys. And people were hopeful that that meant a new dawn, a new age, for CNN to turn the network around and do better. And that presented a very interesting opportunity for Kaitlan Collins. Do it different. People obviously weren't interested in the Jim Acosta-style reporting that the network had become so infamous for. Oh, and how could I forget Jim Acosta's also fired at this point, but anyways, Kaitlan Collins had an opportunity to take over, take the reins, and do a good job. And well, she's totally squandered it. Instead of developing a brand of credibility, becoming a respected household name in the news business, she's doubled down and is now viewed, I think, as one of the most dishonest reporters in Washington. And that is saying a lot considering the competition. And now it seems as though it's FAFO o'clock, because after repeatedly interrupting, disrespecting, and badgering President Donald J. Trump, he's now made it public that he's considering revoking her press pass. Little Kaitlan Collins, you just had to do it. You couldn't engage in fair journalism. You just had to be a DNC operative in a pantsuit. And now, like I said, it's FAFO o'clock. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk a little bit about Kaitlan Collins. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Okay, so like I said, Kaitlan Collins had the opportunity to really build her name and reputation here. She could have used her access to the White House to do good, non-biased reporting, but she never uses that access properly. She never just asks questions like a normal reporter. She's always interrupting, always grandstanding, and of course always trying to lead with the narrative. Every interaction seems like a performative stunt designed to cast her as some sort of hero to the social media Blue Anon cult. But again, unfortunately for her, she's just really following the path of Jim Acosta. You know, it's not wise to engage in this dishonest manner when President Donald Trump is on the other side.
Do you trust President
I
Trump?
believe that, I believe that he would like to see something happen. I trust him on this subject. I think he'd like to see something happen. I think it could have happened a long time ago. I think Biden, number one, it shouldn't have started, but it did. And now all those cities are knocked down like demolition sites. All those beautiful golden towers are knocked down. There's nothing going to replace them. But much more importantly, you lost millions of people. A lot of soldiers, but you lost millions of people. When they knocked down those cities, and they're all laying down on the side, they're lying down just in ashes and all crumbled up concrete. They literally look like a world-class demolition site. And many of them, almost all of them, but many of them, and this should have been done by Biden years ago. This should have never been allowed to happen. I know he's a friend of yours.
But couldn't Putin just withdraw his
He's a friend of
today?
CNN. That's why nobody watches CNN anymore, because they have no credibility.
I mean, Trump doesn't have the patience for it. He doesn't care. And he just completely ruins her in almost every interaction. And he makes it so evident and so clear that she's just engaging in cheap, bad faith garbage. It's so obvious that she's constantly looking for sound bites so she could later run a hit piece on her CNN segment. Donald Trump refuses to say that he doesn't trust Putin. I mean, does she think she's clever? Does she think that she's trapping Donald Trump and getting him in a gotcha moment? I don't think she realizes that everybody is laughing at her. Everybody's laughing at CNN because they have no credibility left. And Kaitlan Collins is very quickly becoming the face of that. I mean, they really thrusted her as the head of the network, the face of the network. I think it all started during the Trump Town Hall, which she hosted during the election season.
Obama.
But Joe Biden didn't ignore a subpoena to get those documents back like you did.
And so that's the question. 1,850 boxes.
But that's the question that investigators have, I think, is why you held on to those documents when you knew the federal government was seeking them and then had given you a subpoena to return them.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Can I talk?
Yeah, what's
you
the
mind?
answer?
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
It's very simple to, you're a nasty person, I'll tell you.
It all started at that moment and it's gone downhill from there. And it's got me asking the question, why did CNN promote her in the first place? What exactly is the problem at that network? Either this is what they want, even after the supposed reforms at the network, they just really identify as an anti-Trump network and this is what they do, or they have the absolute worst system when it comes to talent procurement. I mean, just go through the list. Brian Stelter, Don Lemon, Jake Tapper, Chris Cuomo, Dana Bash, Jim Acosta, and actually now how could I forget another new face of the network, Abby Phillips, who has been horrible. I mean, horrible. It's just got me asking, where are they finding these people? And where's the pivot? They were supposed to pivot to real news, but clearly they haven't learned a damn thing. And they continue to promote and pay the big bucks to these absolute clowns. And really to cement that point, I mean, speaking of clownish behavior and the top brass at CNN, aka Kaitlan Collins, I mean, just look at her most recent blunder. It's a total disaster. The New York Post released this just yesterday. CNN Kaitlan Collins deletes post promoting Luigi Mangione's defense fund after backlash, which she claims, this is not true. I posted that his attorneys created a website which is newsworthy and other outlets have also reported on it. In no way did I share a fundraising link for him. But unfortunately for her, the internet lives forever, and womp womp womp. This is how she reported it. Luigi Mangione's legal defense team has launched a new website today, and here's the link. Now, I refuse to post that link on my channel, so I'm gonna blur it out. But I mean, come on, where is the common sense? This is the top talent at CNN. It's absolutely baffling. What kind of lack of judgment would cause somebody to do something like this? Oh, I'm just reporting on it, it's newsworthy. It's almost as bad as Kamala Harris tweeting in support of the Minnesota bail fund during the 2020 riots. And obviously she knows this. She's defending herself, but she quickly deleted the post after people pointed out that she was boosting his donations. I did nothing wrong. Well, then why'd you delete the post, Kaitlan? What an absolute embarrassment. And what's crazy is that these people in the big news business act like we're the dumb ones. We're the dummies. Give me a frickin' break. Oh man, what a downward spiral the mainstream news business is on, and especially at CNN. What a pathetic attempt at a turnaround. The only good thing that happened at the network is Scott Jennings, and that's only one isolated example. If you look at the network as a whole, with now Kaitlan Collins and Abby Phillips as big household names under the network might actually be worse than it was before. It's certainly more duplicitous in my eye, because at least back then you knew what you were getting with Don Lemon and Brian Stelter. Well, maybe not so much with Brian Stelter. He did love to pretend as if he was just a neutral journalist, but for the most part, it was left-wing news. But now with these new characters and this pivot that they've done, they're pretending as if they're neutral, pretending to just be asking, honest questions, but they always have an agenda, always. It's so clear. Everything is so narrative-driven, and Abby Phillips is the worst offender. She's supposed to be a neutral host. I'm just asking the questions. But she constantly stacks her panel with a bunch of left-wing activists that are just there all attacking Scott Jennings, and she does the exact same thing. She just piles on. It's Scott Jennings versus the entire table every time. It's just so unbalanced, and yet it's presented in a way that's supposedly balanced, as if we're dumb enough to not see through the obvious scam that they're pulling. CNN continues to be a train wreck, and Kaitlan Collins is the train conductor. That's basically it. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.